Hey everyone, Matt here. Welcome back to my channel. So I am up early today. We had a cold front blow through last night. Temperatures have cooled off. It's in the low 60s this morning. It's not supposed to last for long. It's supposed to get up into the 80s later today. So I thought I'm getting outside and I'm planting some of my plants. So let me take you over and I'll show you some of the plants I got. So over the last few weeks, I've picked up quite a few plants. You can see my haul here. So I've got these Supertunia Vista Jazzberries. These are purple in color. I also picked up some white verbenas, and then I picked up some dune sunflowers. So these dune sunflowers are actually a Florida native. So my plan for this morning is to start with the Supertunias. So I have 9 total Supertunia plants that I need to get in the ground. And then if I have time, I'll plant up the white verbenas and the dune sunflowers. So these Supertunias are by proven winners, and actually if you caught my video a couple weeks back, I planted some at my friend's house. I helped her redo some containers on her front porch, and we planted up the bubblegum variety, which are pink in color. After planting them at my friend's house, I knew I needed some for my place. So the plan for my yard is to plant them directly in the ground and use them as a ground cover instead of planting them in containers. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Supertunia Vistas, they're very vigorous growers. They can be planted in full sun to part shade. They'll grow to a height of 12 to 24 inches. They can spread up to 32 inches, so they're really good in containers because they'll definitely spill out over the edge. They can also be used as ground covers. They'll provide that beautiful carpet of blooms. They're really low maintenance. They don't require any deadheading, so there's no need to go in and remove the spent blooms. The plants just keep blooming on their own. They're drought tolerant, they're heat tolerant. There's so many great things I can say about these plants. They're great for a beginner gardener as well as the seasoned gardener. So anyways, with that said, let me take you over to the area where I'm gonna plant up my Supertunias. This is the area where I'm gonna plant them. So we're at the end of my driveway, so you can see the bulk of my front garden over here is all planted up. But this one flower bed definitely needs some attention. So I figured this would be the best spot. It gets early morning sun into late afternoon sun, so it'll be in full sun. It'll be great for those Supertunias. So my vision is for this to just be a carpet of those purple magenta blooms. Just for reference, if you haven't caught any of my prior videos where I mentioned that I live in Central Florida, growing zone 9B. So in Central Florida, we have a very long growing season, and we're actually just coming out of our hot, humid, and rainy summer months, and we're entering fall where the temperatures are finally starting to cool off. So the daytime highs in the fall are in the 70s and 80s, overnight lows are in the 50s and 60s. So with these cooler temperatures, our local garden centers have started to receive their first shipments of Supertunias. So if you live in Central Florida, now is the perfect time to get out to your local garden centers and pick up your Supertunias and plant them in your yard. But with that said, these Supertunias are not frost tolerant. So if there is risk for frost later this year, you will need to cover and protect them. I was actually talking with one of the employees at the garden center, and she said, you know, overall, if you take care of these plants, you should have no problem enjoying their blooms well into the April-May timeframe of next year. So let me quickly go grab the plants. I'll set them out in the flower bed so I can show you the placement. Here's the final placement. They're gonna look so good once they're planted in. So like I said, these are gonna grow to be about 12 to 24 inches tall, and they'll spread to be about 32 inches wide. So eventually, once they're all mature, this is gonna be a carpet of purple blooms. It's gonna look so good, I can't wait. I'm leaving this area here open for now. I'm thinking this might be a good spot for those yellow dune sunflowers that I showed earlier. I'm not sure yet, but I think that that yellow would be a really nice contrast up against the magenta purple of these Supertunias. All right, so I've got everything all planted and watered in. You may have noticed as I was planting, I was amending the soil with a granular fertilizer. So I was just using an all-purpose 10-12-2 fertilizer that I picked up at the garden center. So these Supertunias are heavy feeders. So if you plant them in your yard, just make sure to fertilize them regularly and always follow the instructions on the bag. So let me take a step back so you can really see this finished area. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I can't wait until these plants are at their mature size. And I especially can't wait to take you along in future video updates so you can see the progress of these Supertunias too. So planting up those Supertunias took a little bit longer than I expected, and as the sun's been coming up over the tree line, it's been heating up quick. So I'm gonna have to hold on planting the white verbenas and the dune sunflowers for another day. I was just looking at the 10-day forecast, and it looks like the cooler temperatures in the mornings are supposed to continue, so I'll be able to get out here in the next day or so and plant those plants. So that's a wrap with today's video. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I greatly appreciate your support. And as always, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you find time to get out in your yard.